Here's number 3, indifference to making a difference repels God's favor. Indifference to making a difference. If you'll loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke and set the oppressed free, share your food with the hungry and provide the poor wanderer with shelter, when you see the naked to clothe them and not turn away from your own flesh and blood, when you see it, now you're going to see lots of stuff on planet Earth, you know this, and you're not assigned to everything from the Lord. But when you keep seeing it and he keeps putting it in front of you, my friends, we got to say, okay, sir, I see that. Like, I'm not just ignoring that. That's somebody else's problem. I hope someone comes along and fixes that. I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody else or it's only me on planet Earth. But you know when you're in a restaurant and you're having like a pretty decent time and the waiter or the waitress, they bring you your food and then they just disappear. They disappear for a long time. And then you're looking around and it's one thing when like you can see them at other tables and they're working hard, everything's busy and they're getting it done. But there's been times when we've been sitting down to eat, and it's like, dude, did they go home? Like, they're just not around. Are they in the back doing homework or something? What are they doing? Have they got errands to run that I'll step out for a minute and go do this stuff? And when that happens, of course, what are you going to do? You got to be patient. But there's part of you that's like, I came here and I'm paying money because we had a deal that you were going to do the thing. You're going to come bring me the stuff, and it's weird to me that I'm waiting this long for you to do it. And I wonder, based on today's text, if the Lord is ever like, I paid a lot of blood for you, and I know that you see all these things, and I'm just wondering, did you step out? Like, what are you doing? Are you working on just stuff what is that? You're supposed to be here taking care of the things that I've assigned you and that you can clearly see. Guys, don't hear like a mean spirit about it from Jesus, but I think it's reasonable for him to say, guys, what is going on right now? You know about all this stuff. I know you've got stuff. Deprioritize some of it so that you can wait on me and my people. I know for some of us, we're like, well, Carter, I ain't got time, or I've got a lot going on right now. And maybe you even see people that you might want to invest in, and yet you're like, well, nobody invested in me, so they'll figure it out. And there's just little opportunities all over the place that, like, you could take 5 extra minutes with that person at work. I know you don't have time to talk right now, but you could just stop a little bit and talk. I know that it's an extra 10 minutes for you to say, okay, I'm going to give to that thing. I want to see that thing flourish. Yeah, I know. I know it's a little bit extra time, but my friend, this is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. We're not the only thing going on anywhere. There's other people with things that God wants, he's assigned us to take care of. So, we partnered with this other organization, Love Does. Last time we did it was in 2018, and we gave to the schools they were building in Africa. It's fantastic. They're doing some other things that I want to just show you. One of the things that we're going to try to participate in this year. It is a home for single moms, and let's take a look.
I just had my kid 3 months ago. He would cry and I would cry too. I didn't know what to do. Having a place where me and my baby could be at and not having to go from place to place every night, thinking like, oh, where am I gonna go today? Or where am I gonna go tomorrow? In our own backyard, we started to see that there was a lot of single moms that hadn't really been supported. And so we came together and thought, why don't we put together some programs that can outreach to them?
It's a place where single young moms can bring their babies and they can find a place of love and acceptance. They can get the nurturing they need.
So we're so excited to launch the Love Does Home, which is an opportunity for a couple single moms with their babies to be in a warm and safe and supportive environment. Our residents will be here for 18 to 24 months with the idea that they're furthering their education. But then from that point that we launched them, like I was just gonna do a 9 to 5, but a 9 to 5 isn't gonna get me nowhere. And it's California. Rent's expensive, everything's expensive. Decided to go back to school, finish high school, and then try to go to college. You need education, especially because I have a kid now. Like, I have to do it for him.
When I heard about the Love Does Home, it just warmed my heart, thinking that we could give an opportunity to moms here locally. My hope is that these girls would know that this is just the beginning for them, that we'll pour into them everything that they could need for right now, but that their future is bright, that they will move on from here and become all that they hope and dream for.
This has been something so necessary in the 14 years that I've been hanging out with moms. It's probably been the biggest resource that's missing from their lives. is a stable, safe environment where they can get the life skills necessary, continue their education. We want to empower them to do life, but also to know that we're going to run alongside them and we're going to hold their hand when they need it, and we're just going to cheer them on.
It's also part of a bigger program, and we want to do a bigger outreach to single moms in general. And so we have this awesome Love Does boutique, and it's by appointment only, and you can shop for free, from binkies to books to bottles to beautiful clothes. We also have a life skills class that's going to happen weekly, and it will be on a whole array of topics. We have diaper and food deliveries for free. It's really expensive to live, and so if we can take some of those expense line items that are more difficult to provide for every week that allow you to not be able to save, let's do that. It's a really beautiful thing when you help women, and we've seen it all over the world, that when you give a woman an opportunity to overcome an obstacle, that whenever she does that, there is a strength there is a hope, and she can't wait to then pass that on to her children, to her family, and to her community. And we know that will happen in our own backyard.
I'm willing to bet that there's folks either here or watching online that you look at that and you're like, geez, that would have made all the difference. Like, that would have made my life go an entirely different direction. I know we got awesome, incredible single moms here among us. I know that everybody knows a single mom that could use some help. There's other organizations that do this kind of thing, but this is a very Christ-centered version. And so we want this Christmas holiday season to partner with that just a little bit. Let me walk through everything that we're going to be try to be doing this season, and we'll see if any of them grab your heart. Our goal by the end of January is to raise $30,000. Now, that's less than I've seen you guys raise before. Every year, I'm not pressuring you, but you tend to blow it up. You tend to go way beyond this. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's how you rolled this time. We're going to give to the IJM, Sexual Violence and Slavery. We're going to give a portion to them. We're going to give a portion to the Single Moms Home and Boutique. There's a university that is starting up in war-torn Uganda. And it's incredible. We're going to hear a video about it in a second, but we're going to give a little bit to them. There's a church plant that you guys actually helped plant in 2018. That church now has the opportunity to get a building, and so many of us have come from places where there were church plants, and you know the hardship of that, so we're going to help them as much as we can. Transforming Teens. You guys know, some of you, that our teens go on incredible retreats, and their leaders take great care of them, but not everybody can make it right off the bat, and so we want to help them as always. Here's something. We're talking about the 15-year vision this coming January. I know that some of you know about that. You're praying for that. You're fasting for that. One of the things I think it's going to be a super important pillar of that is interns. I'd like to, this coming summer, just be able to support you. We got a lot of young men and women that are very talented, and we can't pay them full time, but if we even just give them something, we can help develop their ministry skills and strengthen the church for later. There's also just other ways we want to see God strengthen the church. As always, there's improvements, there's stuff to take care of, there's kids' spaces that need updated, all that jazz. And I think we can do it, $30,000 by the end of January, to make a radical investment and see God do all these things. Guys, here's the way the enemy sometimes tries to get in our head. We get overwhelmed, and we say, gosh, that's so much, and there's so much need everywhere. I just feel like I'm paralyzed. I don't know what to do. And that's the trap right there. Just because you can't do everything doesn't mean you can't do anything. And God isn't asking us to do what we can't do. He's just asking us to do what we can do. He says, do you see this? Well, this is what I want you to do. Don't take care of everything in the world. Just start where you are. Now, we also say every year, some are like, hey, man, I'll pray for this. Pray for it, but don't just pray for it. Ask God to help you. See, it's way more exciting to say, instead of, well, I feel like we're just going to give this much. No, that's fine, but it's more fun to say, I'm going to believe God to do something together with me. Do stuff with God, not just for God. So that's where we say, God, you tell me, what do you want you and I to believe for this coming Christmas season? What do we want to do? That's got to be within reach. Don't be, that's Captain Insano. That's never going to happen unless Jesus really shows up with a dump truck full of gold. Okay, sometimes we go there. Don't go there. But just given your circumstances, what would be a faith stretch? Just a little bit of a stretch. That's where it's fun. That's where you and Jesus are doing it together. But also, let's not any of us be willing to pray a prayer that we're not also willing to be part of the answer for that prayer. Because that really is God's heart. He wants us to walk in the fullness of his favor, and that means we need, even today, we need to lay down some of our own self-sufficiency. We need to lay down maybe some of our religious exteriors, and we need to ask the Holy Spirit of God, flood us with fresh fire and humility and compassion to remember that I am not the only thing happening around here.
We're building a university. We just had today, right behind this building, there's about 50 acres of land, and it's going to be perfect for building a university. You know, we've proven the concept over the last 15 years. We have a remarkable campus that's really become the pearl of the north in this beautiful country called Uganda.
And I'm just looking at the way that these kids in the Amuru district in northern Uganda, which is this forgotten area in Uganda, is now known in Kampala, the capital, as like the top school anywhere. It's because all of you guys did it. You just had an idea and said, let's be a worldwide family of friends and make this happen. And so this is just one of 60 buildings of this caliber that are built. So when we talk about starting a university, we've already proven the concept. People come from all around to see like what in the world has been created out here. And what I want is this combination of whimsy, wonder, and academic excellence. And we're looking to make Ugandan presidents. We want to make Ugandan members of parliament. We want to make doctors and lawyers. We have judges and members that are on their way to becoming parliament members. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have the graduates of the school are achieving many, many things. And this is what we've done together as a group. We've just said, we can be your backstop. Let's provide the resources to make it possible to start a university unheard of in northern Uganda.
And it's a buzz, not only just in the north, but it is in the south as well, where we met with the First Lady and we met with the Chief Justices and told them of our plans. And it was met with such gratefulness because they recognized the opportunity that this affords not only students in the north, but the entire country. It has been a whole collective group at the Love Does community that's come around this school over the last 15 years to make it happen at this stage. There's a legacy in that is in some ways an opportunity that you have to do here that you can't do anywhere else in the world.
These will be the stories you talk about for eternity. So thanks again. I want to join Jody in saying, well done. And more to follow.